Hey, I'm Toussaint Morrison, and when I started this vlog, when I started vlogging, I had an idea. I was just going to talk about artistic process and what it was like to be on film sets, what it was like to write for music, what it was like being a writer, and all these ideas of artistic process, and kind of lead to a human process as well. Like how does your day impact your writing, or how does your day impact how you are on a film set? And then the uprising happened, or better yet, the Minneapolis Police Department murdered George Floyd. And in the city I live in, Minneapolis, was the epicenter of a global movement. Now, the vlog then changed just a little bit. I quit my job at PBS Digital Studios, and then I began to just go out into the streets and film things with myself and the person on the other side of this camera, Max, and we just started talking to people. But the thing is that everything changed. We started getting stories from folks and just talking to them, and it was a mess. Everything was a mess. There was no plan. There was no choreographed steps. There was no scripts. It was just like, keep going, figure it out, keep going. And then I kind of got locked into this idea of, oh, well, these are the videos I make, and this is the information I give people, and this is how I do it, and this is how it should be done, because this worked in the past, and we have to make it work this way. And what happened is I left the space where anything could happen. I left the realm of possibility, and I began to have this expectation or attachment to the outcome. And what I talked about in the beginning was detaching from the outcome. And literally, if you go back to a past vlog, it's me sitting down on my couch in these nice Bonobos button-up shirts, and there's two camera angles. It's real nice. It's all good. You got like an intro and some music and stuff. And I would talk about detachment from the outcome. Lo and behold, I was very attached to the outcome. I was sitting there like this is the process, but it was also a learning process, and I give grace to that. And so right now, I'm starting to become totally detached from what appears to be the outline or the script or the blueprint or however things need to be going forward. And for you, as a person that may be doing art, or just you have an attachment to some type of outcome or an expectation to the way things are, my challenge to you and to talk about kind of disconnecting from this idea of the way things are supposed to be. It's not always going to turn out perfect. It's going to be a mess, actually. It's going to be a big mess, and that's okay. When you are I think I read somewhere, when you are at your lowest is when you have the greatest realm of possibility. You're in the greatest moment of possibilities to come to you. And it's also letting go of things means that you can add new things to your life. So when they say less is more, when you actually detach from outcomes, you disconnect from the way you think things should be, you then allow possibilities and growth, expansion to come into your life. And so with these vlogs, I had this idea of, I can't say that, but I can say that. But what are they going to think if I say? And just, who cares? Who cares? The whole point of doing these was to create a discussion and to kind of get away from condemnation and get away from perfection and get away from this idea of the way things should be, or there's a scripted way to go about it. And it was to really get into creating and designating space for there to be possibility. And that possibility could be merited as good or bad. However, the more that we give ourselves space and grace for those things to happen, I think the less, and even in this moment, I'm like, oh my goodness, we should cut and do something else. But it's like, no, this is part of the process. I think the more space we allow for ourselves to mess up, grow, expand, gets away from this idea of, there's a way to do it. There's one way to do it. We got to get there. And if we don't do it that way, then we got to toss it out. So when we talk about having an outline or having a scripted way of doing things or being attached to an outcome, see what happens when you detach. See what happens when you disconnect from the outcome and you allow things to new things to come in, evolution, growth, expansion to come into that process. And so with this vlog, I think I know what I'm going to be doing going forward is creating a lot more kind of off the cuff things or just kind of getting out of my own head and going forward with whatever current events we're talking about, but then also getting back to talking about process. Because I don't think you can remove process from the movement, from activism, from community action, from all these things, because I think it's part of it as well. And there has been a lot of processes going on in your city, in the movements all over the world. So we're gonna get into that, and I encourage you to detach from the outcome, see what happens, and we're also gonna see what happens on vlogs like these.